Okay, back in the shop again, and here we go. I had problems with the carburetor. This is hot. It's warm, very warm. I had problems with the carburetor coming loose, and actually a gasket gave way inside here on the mounting plate between the carburetor and the cylinder head. So to do that, I had to take off the air cleaner, which destroyed another gasket. So I replaced both gaskets, got us all bolted up, because you could actually like grab this thing and wiggle it, you know, side to side. And problem was it had trouble idling, hard to start, and lack of power. I realized that all of a sudden, hey, this is like all loose and jiggly. So take these two screws out, takes off this mounting for the air cleaner and the carburetor. The screws go through the carburetor, so that comes off, and it exposes the mounting plate, which has two screws in it. Those screws were loose, and I took them off, found the gasket was bad. So I replaced the gasket, put in the screws nice and snug, replaced the carburetor, the new gasket between here and the cleaner. These screws are nice and snug, and it worked really well for a little while. Then I started having the same symptoms again. It was getting difficult to start, lack of power, and wouldn't idle. So I figured, oh, screws came loose again. So I took these screws out, took this all off, made sure everything was snugged up, put it all back together, these screws back in tight, air cleaner back on, ran it. Seemed to work great, except it seemed really rich. And I could, the reason I felt that is because with the experience I've had with model airplanes and stuff, is that if something doesn't idle, or when it's idling and you apply throttle and it's very sluggish to respond, it's usually too much fuel in the carburetor or cylinder or something. Like, it will actually idle for a little while, but it'll eventually die. And while it's idling, if you apply throttle and it doesn't want to accelerate, or doesn't accelerate quickly, too much gas. So I was working, I don't know if we can see, down here in this little hex screw. There's actually something down inside that you can get a special screw to fit in there and turn it. I don't have that. So what I was using was, let me see this here. Where's my camera? There. A broken off dental tool. I think I was using this side here. I was able to insert this way, kind of angle it to get a grip, and then turn it. And what I found is that when you turned it clockwise, usually on most engines that turns the screw in and restricts the fuel, but here it seemed to want to go counterclockwise. So I had to undo like about a half or 3/4 turn I did, plus another turn and a half or so to get it to run right. And I thought everything was great. Then I brought it out today. I worked with it for about 5-10 minutes. It was doing good, and then it started lacking power. I thought that the shroud here was getting blocked up with mud and grass and stuff, because that happens sometimes when the grass is moist. And I checked it. There was a little bit. I cleared it out, and same problem. Hard to start, wouldn't idle, no power. So I come back here to the bench, and I'm like checking, because like I know I just put these screws in twice. Second time I put them in with red Loctite, because I didn't want this stuff coming out. So anyway, I come here and I'm like wiggling, it's really, really snug. I grab it this way. Which way did I grab it? I grabbed it the other way, and the stupid thing moves. There, this way. I was wiggling this way, thinking, oh, it's nice and snug. I grab it this way, and I don't know if you can see that, but oh man, I can't hold it steady. So I can hold this steady while I move. See, there's movement in there. It is not the carburetor moving against the cylinder. The cylinder inside. I don't know if we can tell. It's hard to see on this camera. Just a guy with a broken iPhone. But anyhow, maybe we can see it from the top here. If I wiggle, get a good reference. My whole cylinder is loose. I'm like, what the heck? So now I'm going to have to pull off this shroud, and see if I can figure out I know there's screw holes. I can see them down in here and here. And I'm going to have to get that tightened up. Stupid motor's coming apart. Video for next time.